So when it comes to your reality, you are the producer, you are the writer, you are the director, and you are the actor starring in your 360-degree holographic reflection of your consciousness, which is playing out as your reality. You are all of it. You are also the casting director, casting each of your characters into the roles that they are playing in your reality. Now, you are either doing that consciously or you are doing that subconsciously. And part of this work is to bring more consciousness and more awareness to what you are producing in your reality, including the quality of the characters that are showing up. So in this video, I wanted to talk about what to do when negative people show up in our reality. And I put that in inverted commas because there really are no negative people. We are all positive, negative, and we are therefore neutral. And it is the observer who is causing the quality of the characteristics being observed in the characters to show up in your reality. So I did have another video to do this week. And then over the last couple of weeks, I have had a number of unpleasant characters showing up in my reality, which is very rare. Rare enough for me to go, hang on a second, what is going on here? Where is this coming from? So today I wanted to talk about what to do when these negative characters show up in our reality, keeping in mind there are no negative characters. There are just expressions of what we observe as negative characteristics being played out in the characters that show up in our reality, and they are here to help you remember who you are and to get back in command of consciousness so that you can see more of what it is that you want to see in your reality, including the quality of characters that you want to be seeing more of. So that's what we're doing today. My name is Hedley Dorenzi, and I am a law of assumption coach, passionate about making these teachings as simple to understand, as practical as possible to use so that you can see more of what you want to be seeing in your reality. If you would like to know more about me or my offerings, including one-to-one coaching, my courses, and my book, I Am Money, you will find all of those details in the box below this video, or at my website, youaretheone.com.au. And if you are enjoying my channel and you're finding my videos useful, I would appreciate it if you could press that subscribe button on your screen. Thank you so much. So as I said, I had another video planned for today, and then of course reality had better ideas and threw up a couple of situations that I found myself in that were very unpleasant. And I thought, this is actually something that I know a lot of people are dealing with, which is characters that they don't necessarily want to be dealing with in their reality. We all have them, and the thing that we forget about the characters that we don't necessarily want to be seeing in our reality is that they are here to help you. They are here to remind you of something that you have forgotten, because if people that are unfavorable or, acting in a way that is less than preferable, it is because the amnesia has taken over, and as a result of that amnesia, we are producing results in reality that we don't necessarily want to be seeing, because within reality, there is a negative bias. That has been proven by science. So everything contains the law of polarity, including consciousness and reality. Consciousness is positive, negative, meaning masculine, feminine, positive, negative. Reality, which is the reflection of consciousness, is negative, positive, feminine, masculine. It's opposite back to front. Everything contains the law of polarity, including us as people, the expressions of consciousness in human form. What happens with the negative bias is, if you are not consciously directing your awareness to the positive states, meaning more of what you want to see on a daily basis, you are going to be swayed by the negative bias in reality, meaning reality is going to show you a lot of evidence of negativity. So negative events, negative situations, negative people. You are going to see a lot of negativity in reality. You're also going to see the positive. It's negative, positive. So you're going to see both. But if you are not staying on top of consciousness, meaning staying on top of consciously directing your awareness into more of the states that you want to experience and the things that you do want to experience, then you are going to be subject to that negative bias. So it means that this work that we are all doing has to be a daily practice, which it is for me. It has been since I came into it for 4 to 5 years. And just recently, I slipped Meaning I got caught following a very negative news story involving a series of very unpleasant characters, and I got caught up in it, not realizing that by being aware of this negative news story involving a series of negative characters, meaning they are exhibiting negative characteristics, that's going to produce a result in my reality. And guess what? It did, because that's how powerful I am. So we are always manifesting. We are sometimes manifesting more of what we want, and then there are some times where we have forgotten how powerful we are, and we are manifesting that which we don't want. And your reality is constantly going to be poking you if you are slipping off course. So if you are slipping into that negative bias where you are just allowing reality to inform consciousness, then your reality, your direct reality, is just going to go, hey, here, remember what you're focusing on is what you're going to get solidified in your reality. And that is what happened to me. So I want to share the story of what happened, and then I want to share how I moved myself out of those situations, and then just give you a little process that you can do if you are finding that you have negative people showing up in your reality, or negative characters. Again, I'm hesitant to use that phrase because there are no negative characters. There are just negative characteristics that we experience because of where our awareness is going. So I just want to be really clear on that. Every single person is the expression of I am contained within human form. And as the observer of your reality, as the one who is aware of your infinite I amness contained within your human form, you are the observer of your reality, including the characters showing up in it. So if you are experiencing negative characters showing up who are exhibiting negative characteristics, it's because you've slipped somewhere. And it's so easy to do. I mean, this is the human experience. I'm having a human experience. We're all having a human experience. There's nothing wrong. You haven't made a mistake. It's not your fault. But if reality is producing a result that you don't want to be seeing, then yeah, it's a cause for you to go, hang on a second, what's going on here? What have I been focusing on? Oh, okay, there it is. And then you can just reset yourself and redirect your awareness back on track and moving more into the states that you want to be seeing, and then having those characters reflecting it back. So, as you know, I am absolutely committed to this work, to the work of I Am, not just here on my channel, but in my own reality on a day-to-day basis. As a result of that, I have created a reality that is wonderful, meaning I love the majority of my reality. There are still a few issues that I'm working on as a result of past stories that have remained unresolved, and I'm working on those and seeing progress in those. But for the most part, I have created a reality. I've selected a reality for myself that I love, in particular with my characters. So the people who are in my reality are not here by chance. They're not here by accidents. They're not here by coincidence. They are here through conscious intention on the characteristics that I have chosen within myself to experience, and then are getting reflected back through the people who show up in my reality. So I have amazing people in my reality, both with my friendships and with my clients. I just get to work with the most amazing people, and I'm constantly in awe, and I'm so grateful for that. Which is why when my reality shows up with some characters who are unfavorable and showing characteristics that I don't necessarily want to be seeing in my reality, that's going to get my attention, which is what happened in recent weeks. I had a number of people showing up in my reality exhibiting characters that were very much less than favorable. And then also I had a number of comments on my channel which were very unfavorable and just, really rude and unkind. And again, that's very rare. That doesn't happen. So I was looking at this going, something is going on that I am clearly unaware of, because everyone is me pushed out, reflecting me back. And this is out of the ordinary. And I just want to make a point here on that topic of everyone is you pushed out, reflecting you back. Just because somebody shows up in your reality does not automatically grant them access to your reality. So arrival does not equal access. However, everyone is you pushed out, so you do want to understand what they are reflecting, because that will help you clean up consciousness if you need to, and then you can just get on with focusing on more of what you do want to be experiencing. So the first thing that you want to do when a negative person shows up in your reality is you want to identify the characteristics that they are exhibiting. So for example, in the characters that I'm talking about, they were rude, disrespectful. Let's just say that. They were rude, they were disrespectful, which is just so rare. It just doesn't happen in my reality. So when it does, I'm like, okay, hang on a second, let's look at this. Now, as the infinite I am, I know I'm the infinite I am. So if somebody is showing up exhibiting negative characteristics, you want to put I am in front of those characteristics as quickly as possible. I am rude, I'm being rude, and I'm being disrespectful. Okay, I'm now in command of consciousness because I have now claimed it at the level of I am, and that's the game. Because I am is both rude and polite. I am is both disrespectful and I am is respectful. I am is infinite states and infinite conditions. So if there is a state that's showing up that's unfavorable, it's coming from I am. It's not coming from them. They are reflecting it back. So you want to put it in I am as quickly as possible and then choose the preferred state. I'm choosing that I'm respectful. Now, having made that choice, I am then withdrawing my time, my energy, my attention. I'm withdrawing all of my awareness from that character who is exhibiting the quality of disrespect. I'm withdrawing myself from the dynamic completely. So I'm not engaging with them. I'm limiting communication with them. If there is communication that needs to be had, it's very short, it's very direct, and it's over as quickly as possible. So I'm choosing respect. I'm choosing kindness. I'm choosing appreciation. I'm choosing all of those positive qualities that I generally see in my characters. And yet for some reason, I'm seeing the opposite of that have just shown up out of the blue. So this is probably more so relevant for people that you don't have a history with. It is the same process for family members or people that have been in your life for a long time. However, it is a little bit different because there is a narrative that goes along with those relationships that has to be unraveled. So it does take a little bit more time, but the process is essentially the same. You want to come back to I am and put I am in front of the characteristic that you are observing in your characters. This is how you are the casting director of your characters. You are casting your awareness onto the characteristics that you want to see more of and withdrawing your awareness from the characteristics that you want to see less of. You are not pushing back on the negative characteristics, meaning you are not pushing back on the negative characters. As soon as you engage with those negative people, you are engaged in that dynamic. And if you're choosing these states over here, it means you have to withdraw your awareness and your attention and your energy from the character who's exhibiting the negative characteristic. This is how you cast your characters. This is how you recast unfavorable characters. Now, what happened in my case is I did that with the first unfavorable character that showed up, but then another unfavorable character showed up. And I was like, hang on a second, what is going up? So I did the same process again. But then I also was like, okay, where is this coming from? Because this is the second unfavorable character that has shown up in less than a week. So there's something going on in my awareness that is causing these unfavorable characters to show up. And as soon as I was able to ask that deeper question of where are these characters coming from, I immediately remembered that I have been following this story, this global news story that has been going on in a certain country involving certain characters that are extremely unfavorable. And I've been following the story, which means I have been following this cast of very unfavorable characters. And the cast of characters you're focusing on predominantly is going to cast your characters, meaning it's going to solidify. It's going to mold those characteristics into a character in your reality, because where you are casting your awareness, that is what is producing your reality. So here I am focused on this very negative, unpleasant, unfavorable story involving a very unpleasant cast of characters. And over here, there's no coincidence that these unfavorable characters are starting to show up in my reality. There are no coincidences with this work, and there are no accidents, and nothing comes from nothing. So if something is happening in your reality, for example, people who are acting in negative, unfavorable ways, that is not by chance. And they are here to help you, remind you of just how powerful you are. You cannot be focused on something that you don't want and then not expect that thing to show up in your reality in some way. That is how critical your awareness is. So by claiming those characteristics with I am, you're now back in the role of the casting director, because the casting director's name is I am. I am unkind. I am disrespectful. I am rude. Okay, great. Now I'm in command of the story. I get to choose the contrasting state, which is I'm kind. I'm respectful. I'm polite. And then I'm now shifting my awareness over here. And because I'm not in resistance to the opposite, I'm not pushing back on the opposite, that can dissolve, which it does. And then I can go back to experiencing more of these kind of characters, which I'm more used to, which are lovely and favorable. You are the casting director of your characters, the people who are showing up in your life, and the way you cast them is with your awareness. So if you are standing around at work gossiping about somebody, that is a negative state of consciousness that if you keep engaging in that state of consciousness, you are going to see it solidified in your reality. I am is the infinite character, meaning it contains all of the characteristics, and all of those characteristics are contained within us. And when you know that, and when you're able to claim all of those characteristics with I am, you have full and complete choice over the characteristics that you are directing your awareness to. And I'm choosing that I am kind, I am respectful, I am polite, I am appreciative, I am just a lovely person. And then that is going to get pushed out and reflected back in my reality. But what this situation has done has enabled me to identify where these characters came from. And I have gone into my algorithm on YouTube, which is where I was following this story, and I have deleted all of these clips that was keeping me up to date with this pretty horrible story that's going on in the news right now. Because by staying aware of that story, I'm staying aware of those very unpleasant, unfavorable characters, and I am producing that state of consciousness into my reality through these characters who are just showing up out of nowhere. Of course, they never show up out of nowhere. They are showing up out of my consciousness and what I have been placing my awareness on. So it has given me an opportunity to reset and to realign my awareness and what I'm choosing to spend my time focusing on, and to remove and withdraw my awareness from the unfavorable and the unpleasant and the unpreferred. Your reality is so generous in terms of helping you to identify where you've just forgotten who you are and you've just slipped into a little bit of negative thinking or a negative focus, and it will help you just come back to self, come back to I am, and then reset focus onto what you want to be seeing more of and just get back on track. So this work is not about perfection. Of course, you are infinite perfection experienced through the imperfect state of humanness. It's just remembering. This is about forgetting and remembering. You are going to forget. That's okay, because you will remember. As quickly as you forgot, you will remember as long as you come back to I am. I am contains all states. I am is everything. So I am is both positive and negative. And the characters who are showing up as negative are just a call to action to bring your awareness back, first of all, to I am, and then into choosing that new story. Just remember, you're the infinite I am. You are the producer of your reality. You're the writer of it. You are the director of it as well. And you are the actor starring in it. And of course, you are the casting director, casting your characters into form based on where you are casting your awareness moment to moment. So I hope that helps to just reset, and I will be back next week with the video that I was going to do this week, now that I'm back on track and back in the right state of I am. Have a beautiful week. Stay in I am. I'll look forward to seeing you then. Bye.